Art here on Senior Day is also a graduate. Those two have been around this program a long, long time. But it'll be Tulane winning the opening tip-off, and the Green Wave will have it first here in quarter number one. As we get a look at the Tulane starting five, Dinah Jones, who Nikki mentioned, coming off of that career-high 25 points, but they've got big scorers everywhere. Crystal Freeman averages 12 per game. Arsula Clark, 12 per game. Moon Urson, almost 14 per game. So, Nikki, this team very dynamic, very balanced offensively.
Yeah, and that obviously makes it really hard to guard a team that can do a little bit of everything. You have multiple threats on offense, so you really have to just play solid, straight-up defense.
Two teams with quick zeros on their first possession of the afternoon. Now Dinah Jones will put up a three, no good off the back iron. Urson, the offensive rebound, and a fresh 20 on the shot clock for Tulane.
No, this is the moment that, one team kind of needs to set the tone of coming out strong and kind of continuing that throughout the rest of the game.
Shot clock violation here as the effort inside by Mia Heidi does not hit the rim, and so Temple will get it back with a minute gone, no score in today's contest.
Well, that's a great start for Temple, just playing solid defense, forcing them through that shot clock.
Emani Mayo is the other of Temple's seniors out on the court today. Mayo, Davis, and Taylor honored before the game as part of Temple's Senior Day ceremony, and they're paired with a pair of freshmen in Tiara East and Anaya Gordine. Gordine has made a name for herself with 2 triple-doubles this season.
Yeah, Temple has done a great job of kind of switching up their starting lineup, and, I think each game it kind of shows who the coach trusts at the time and maybe who had a great practice the weeks leading up to the game.
Both defenses winning the early battle, in Tulane again deep in the shot clock, now stolen away by Gordine. No one between her and the basket. She'll lay it in, and Temple strikes first as Gordine has the first 2 points of the game.
Yeah, I really enjoy watching her play. I love that she's a freshman and she'll be here for so many more years, but she's just very good at what she does, and I think a lot of times her defense is very calculated, which allows her to get those steals the way that she does.
Tulane trying to answer as they'll swing it into the corner. 3 on the way, and it is good for Dinah Jones, a 32% three-point shooter, and Jones picking up right where she left off of that 25-point performance in the win over SMU.
Yeah, Jones can certainly get hot. I mean, she's a redshirt junior for Tulane, so she's been with the program for a while, so she knows exactly what the coaches want from her.
Mayo trying to answer with the 3 and comes up empty. Tulane right back to work. Here's Jones inside. Well, Nikki, you said she could do a little bit of everything. We've seen a corner 3 and now a great slash to the lane.
And what I like about her also is she's just kind of not really doing too much. She's just taking her time and doing what works best, finding and reading the defense.
Tough reverse layup for Taylor, misses. Tulane leading 5-2. Jones all 5 of the points. Here she is, a little no-look layoff to Freeman, and now a foul is going to keep it here with Tulane. The foul is on Gordine for reaching in.
Yeah, after Jones made the last 5 points, I say just take it yourself. Don't even pass it at that point. She was almost at the basket.
All right, so an inbound for Tulane, 23 seconds left on the shot clock. Trouble getting it in, and they finally do to Heidi in the corner. She'll dump it right back inside. Arsula Clark, little up and under, and Taylor wins the battle, but then can't pull in the rebound, so it will stay with Tulane.
I think Shantae Taylor does a great job defensively down low. She's very solid. She doesn't allow other offensive post players to push her around, and I think that kind of gives them trouble down low.
Yeah, big veteran presence in there for Temple. Another fifth-year player along with Mia Davis. Sixth-year player for Taylor, actually, because of the COVID year and the medical red shirt that she's had. So she has been around. Entry pass to Davis, poked away, stolen by Clark, and Temple will return the favor. Owls get it right back, down by 3, Gordine. Looking into the post for Davis. Davis double-teamed, and it'll be last touch by Tulane and stay on this end with the Owls.
No, it's still early in the game, but Temple just needs to make sure they get that offensive movement. Once they kind of telegraph their passes to Mia Davis, against a team like Tulane, it's never going to get there.
Temple lets another three fly with Mayo, and this one off the mark to the left. Green Wave right back up the floor. Slow shooting start for both sides. There's a good find and a finish by Heidi. And with all that scoring, don't count out Mia Heidi, who averages 8.5 per game, just doesn't make as much of a mark because there's so many double-figure scorers for this Tulane team.
Yeah, when you have 3 or 4 double-digit scorers, 8 points is still a lot. You're still contributing to, what this team can do each game.
Temple again trying to work it down low for Taylor, and Taylor puts it up, finishes with the left hand. Temple back within 3 at 7-4, nearing the midpoint of quarter number 1.
At this point, with Taylor being at Temple for so long, it seems like she's one of the coaches at this point. She's, a little bit older than, a lot of the players on the team, and she just kind of has that presence.
Definitely, and good to see her being honored with the start today for her efforts both this season and throughout her long Temple career. There's Mia Davis getting her first 2 points as she drives inside the paint, and Temple has cut the margin to 1.
Yeah, sometimes Temple needs more of that from Mia Davis when they're not able to get her the ball down low. Her taking it herself is just as good because she obviously can handle the ball and make it to the basket.
Urson gives it up to Crystal Freeman, who draws the foul. That is Tiara East reaching in, and it brings us to our first break of the afternoon. So Tulane got on a 7-0 run, but Temple, with a couple of baskets, has trimmed the Green Wave lead to 1.
Hey, Cover Girls. It's time for a fresh start with new Clean Fresh Skincare Weightless Water Cream, supercharged with True Clean Cactus Water for 72 hours of hydration. It works.
Now to get going, but back-to-back baskets for the Owls, and they've got a little bit of momentum with them here at our first break of the game.
Yeah, one thing that's always important, no matter who's on the court, they need to keep and maintain the energy as subs come in and out of the game. So now that we have a few different players on here, they need to continue to go and pick up where the last 5 left off at.
All right, so Temple with a chance to take the lead here. Karanda Perea has come into the game along with Alexa Williamson. Perea misses the 3, and a long rebound out to Urson, who picks it up on the run. Kayla Anderson fresh into the game. That is a deep 3, no good, and Gordine grabs the rebound.
That's deep for someone that just came into the game, so she can knock that down and very confidently.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Emani Mayo, who has missed a couple of 3s of her own, goes inside and has her first points on senior day, and Temple leads 8-7. Anderson kicks it back out. 3-pointer on the way from Freeman, no good, and if there is one hole in the game early for Tulane, the 3-point shooting has not been terribly effective, just 1 for 4.
Yeah, they're a pretty decent 3-point shooting team. They're not horrible, but they're doing a really good job of sharing the ball and trying to spread that out offensively.
Perea, another corner 3, no good, and Temple has not lit it up from 3 either. In fact, the Owls don't have one, but they go inside to Mia Davis. Chance for 3 points the old-fashioned way as Davis gets the basket and the foul.
The way that she's able to kind of box out and grab those rebounds is not really a traditional way of doing it. She just really does a great job of holding off the other player and just kind of going aggressively to the ball. She does a really great job of it. And then also being able to go back up strong and make the shot also matters.
Yeah, it's a great battle to watch because Davis averages 7 rebounds per game. And then you've got Crystal Freeman, who averages 8 per game. Good tussle in the low post, and Davis wins that battle, hits the 3-point play, and Temple now has a 4-point lead at 11-7. On the other end, Davis is going to pick up the foul away from the ball, and Tulane will have an inbound. So Tulane will pull off 2 of their starters in Urson and Freeman, 2 great rebounders. And let's see what the Green Wave can do here. 3:01 to go in the first quarter. Inbound up top to Ursula Clark. Clark trying to drive past Perea, gets inside and scores. Clark, another double-figure score. She's fourth on the team, but averages 11.8 points per game, has her first two.
Yeah, in addition to that, I really love a good offensive out-of-bounds play from underneath the basket. If you can make points off of that, then I think you're a really great team. It kind of shows, the discipline that you have to make those baskets count.
Led by longtime head coach Lisa Stockton, great veteran presence on the Tulane bench. She has been there for 28 seasons. 11 NCAA tournament appearances for the Green Wave. Here comes Tulane. They've got their sights set on number 12 here this year. There's another look, and Clark just slashing her way to the basket. Back-to-back baskets for Ursula Clark, and the game is tied at 11.
And that's what makes Tulane so deadly, is because they have these multiple players that can just kind of take over, and it's not the same person every time.
Gordine swings it around. Mayo open for three, and a tough shooting start from three-point range from Mayo. She is 0 for 3 in this game. Tulane right back to work up the right side. Clark starting to really heat up. Nobody picked up Ursula Clark in the paint. She's got 3 baskets in a row for Tulane, and it's a 13-11 Green Wave lead.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, because Tulane has multiple scorers, Temple needs to make sure they're playing team defense. It's not just going to be one person's assignment per offensive player.
I think Kayla Anderson got a little bit caught in between a shot and a pass there, changed her mind and wanted to go back inside to Sierra Cheatham and just overthrew her. So Temple will get it back off of the Tulane turnover in transition. Game of runs, Tulane 7-0, Temple 9-0, and now Tulane 6-0. That is snapped by that basket from Anaya Gordine, tied at 13. And Gordine, we mentioned those 2 triple-doubles ties her for 3rd in the NCAA. Only a handful of players with multiple triple-doubles this season. And Gordine had 2 of them in a 3-game span.
Yeah, that just says so much about just her as a player. I don't even know how, it would feel after, accomplishing that the first time and then also the second time.
She became the first player in the history of the American Athletic Conference, which dates back to 2013. First freshman with a triple-double, and then, like you said, 2 games later she goes out and gets a second. Here, Alexa Williamson is fouled and will go to the line for her first free throws of the afternoon.
That pass down to Williamson was part of the high-low sequence between Mia Davis and Alexa Williamson, something that we really haven't seen Temple do in the past few games, but that's something that has been deadly. It's worked for them. I'm not sure why they got away from it.
Williamson at the line, meanwhile, is a 66% free throw shooter. Has really improved her free throw shooting this season, though she misses the second, so she'll split the 2. Temple back on top by a point. We're into the final minute of quarter number 1. Inside, tough take for Clark. It dances on the rim and drops. Ursula Clark, a terrific first quarter performance. She's got 8 points all in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, she's fired up right now. She feels unstoppable. You can tell by the way that she's playing defense and playing offense. She's going to continuously go at Temple if they're allowing her to score this easily.
Mayo drives, misses. Second chance for Williamson, no good. Shot clock turned off, but Tulane, they got a little ahead of themselves. Clark wanted another look at the basket. Well, and she may get one because Temple turns it right back over, and with 9.2 seconds left, Tulane will have an inbound. Jalen Holmes will see her number called for the first time today for Temple. The transfer from Norfolk State averages a shade over 2 points per game, and Tulane will have the final possession. Clock winding down. Clark, the hot hand, behind the back, into the lane. Clark just can't get it to go. A good effort, though, Nikki, at the buzzer.
Yeah, with the way she's playing, I kind of wanted it to fall for her to go off that momentum.
She's coming over to us, and she caught my eye. Mia Davis will have the inbound. Nikki Jones is on the call. We are with you here for Senior Day 2022. Temple trails Tulane 15-14.
No, so far a good start for both of these teams. Not really, anything going too wrong, I guess.
Yeah. I think you look at Ursula Clark really picked up the scoring late for Tulane if there's one thing that hasn't gone right, three-point shooting really hasn't been there on either side, combined 1 for 8.
Yeah, with the way that Tulane's playing, it seems like that's something that's going to come for them because they are doing a good job of penetrating the paint and going into underneath the basket, forcing Temple to guard them. But Mia Davis on the other end, multiple players around her, she's still going to make sure that she's kind of going to get some points or get something out of her getting the ball so deep in the paint.
Davis now with 6, and you'd expect, Nikki, for Mia Davis to put up a good performance in her final time playing on this court. She's got 6 points right now to lead the Owls. Game tied at 15. Two of the top 5 teams in the American Athletic Conference here, though heading in opposite directions. Tulane, winners of 8 straight. Temple has dropped 2 in a row. Urson with the shot clock winding down. Got to get a shot off, and they did not. That play just took too much time to develop for Tulane.
And it seems like, during this last break that Temple now knows that they need to play team defense, and this is a great example of that in this possession, kind of helping the helper and making sure that everyone is covered at all times.
Owls trying to go back on top here. Gourdine left wide open for 3, no good. The Owls now 0 for 6. Quick outlet to Clark, 2 on 3 for Tulane. Urson will pull it back out. Good job, like you said, Nikki. Temple getting multiple players back, preventing that transition attempt, and now they'll play some half-court defense. Clark will up and under, maybe tried to drop it off inside for Anijah Grant. Poked away by Temple, it will stay with Tulane.
Yeah, Clark's going up against Perea and Williamson, who both had her covered pretty well, so she kind of didn't have anywhere else to go.
Foul on Gourdine on the entry pass to Clark. That is the second on Anaya Gourdine, so she will have to exit for Temple as Emani Mayo comes in.
We definitely don't want to see Gourdine out on the bench for too long. She had a great start so far, and we've seen what she can do for this team.
Mia Davis is going to join Gourdine with 2 fouls, and that is definitely not what Tanya Cardoza and Temple wanted. Those are their 2 most integral players to things on the offensive and defensive end, and they're not going to pull Davis here, so they're going to risk leaving her out with 2 fouls very early in the second quarter.
And this is a time for Tulane to kind of capitalize on that and realize that if Mia Davis is out on the court, that changes the Temple team completely. So just go at her. They're doing a really great job of kind of getting it to the post underneath the basket. She's prone to get her third if she's not careful.
We'll see how Davis is able to manage on that end. Here she is on offense, driving inside, and the runner goes for Mia Davis. So while she's out there, she's got 8 points and has put Temple back on top by 2.
Yeah, I like the way that she started this game so far. I think she kind of just came out aggressive with the mindset that she's going to, play the game that we've seen her play so many years, game in and game out.
Inside, Clark had the ball swiped away. Stays with Tulane. This is Dinah Jones. Jones laying it off for Urson, draws the foul. She got tripped up along the baseline. The Temple does not like that one. That is on Jalen Holmes. Temple's 3rd already this quarter as Tierra East comes in, and now Mia Davis will come off. So here you go. Time for Temple to figure it out without Davis or Gourdine, 2 of their on-floor leaders out there.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for them is just kind of not waiting for someone to make something happen.
Well, Nikki, you said earlier you like being able to score off of inbound plays. That one was pretty well drawn up and executed right there to Crystal Freeman.
Yeah, and you can tell that the way that they've executed the past 2, that they practice them in practice, that they can score that easily.
Freeman's first 2 points. She averages 12 per, and a good answer for Temple as Jalen Holmes pulls up for a mid-range jumper. It's good. Temple goes back on top.
And Temple's going to need a lot of that. A lot of players out on the court need to kind of have that mindset that I'm going to score when I have the ball. And if not, there's other players that can help.
Now, good answer from Dinah Jones. Jones had a hot start. She scored the first 5 points of the game for Tulane, and that's her first basket since. East out to Holmes, who took a stutter step, and that will wave off what would have been the first three-point basket of the day for the Owls.
Yeah, maybe she knew that stat and wanted to kind of get behind the three-point line.
We've mentioned the foul trouble that Temple has found themselves in. Not terribly surprising for a team that has committed the second most personal fouls in the conference. Tulane, meanwhile, the second fewest as they knock down the mid-range jumper. Crystal Freeman starting to pick up as she's got 2 of the last 3 baskets for the Green Wave.
I think so far we've seen why there's so many people that score double digits for Tulane.
Oh, good layoff for Urson, running the floor along with Dinah Jones. Urson lays it in, and Tulane goes up by 4.
Great offensive transition by Tulane, just being aware of where their teammates are.
Well, and they're very unselfish. You can tell this team has been playing together. They know that they've got a bunch of different players that can score. As Temple throws it away here, it'll go back to Tulane. There's a lot of unselfishness, willingness to lay off passes, to set up your teammates. It's just a team that really is clicking with good offensive energy right now.
Yeah, and it's cool to see that, too, when we see their statistics offensively, the way that they're able to score, but seeing it in person, the way that they can pass and just kind of share the ball within their team is pretty amazing to see.
This is a team that, as we said, believes very firmly that it can hang with the big players in the conference, the 2 Florida schools, UCF and South Florida, as Anijah Grant gets into the scoring column. She becomes the 6th different Tulane Green Wave to score in this game. Williamson looking for the reverse layup, no, but the loose ball picked up by Mayo. Good cleanup effort. Now Perea launches a 3 well wide of the basket, and it's going to go back to Tulane.
The right idea offensively for Temple, just kind of, I think they're moving a little bit too fast on offense, not really taking their time once they have the ball. But then again, Tulane's doing a great job of forcing Temple to kind of play a little bit faster than they want on offense.
Tulane brings in Irina Parau for the first time, redshirt senior out of Romania, and Temple will bring in Kyra Wood, who has logged some big minutes lately for the Owls in the low post. Surprised to see her first appearance of the game this late in the game.
Yeah, and she's been doing pretty well for Temple, especially. She's still young, and she's kind of filled the shoes of Alexa Williamson at times. And
an 8-6 series lead if they can keep this current run up.
Yeah, it's been fun watching them play so far, and the way that they share the ball, the way that they're kind of just pretty balanced offensively. And also on defense, they're doing a good job of kind of slowing Temple down as well.
We will see what Temple can do coming out of the break. Tanya Cardoza, even with that media timeout coming at the first whistle under 5, had seen enough and needed to take the timeout from the bench, with Tulane putting together the run that they did. And we'll see what Temple can do to try to blunt that momentum now, facing their largest deficit of the game. Gordine and Davis now both out there with 2 first-half fouls. Mayo out to Perea. Shot clock winding down. Mayo gets a look. It's good. It's a 2-point basket for Emani Mayo. A good job by Temple coming out of the timeout.
And I really like that 2-point basket. It wasn't quite a 3-pointer, but wasn't far away from that. And sometimes that's really what Temple needs to do, is just take a step or 2 in, and those shots are a little bit easier to make than a 3-pointer.
Good job inside. Dinah Jones with the jump stop and the lay-in, and she's got 9. 29-21 Tulane.
Although she's a guard, she does a great job of playing with her back to the basket and making those, I guess, post moves also to score the ball.
Temple travels, and the turnover will give it right back to the Green Wave. An 8-point lead, 29-21.
Well, so far the turnovers are pretty balanced, but a lot of times with Temple, they'll have a few early, and then they'll just kind of keep going on that without ever making a real adjustment.
Jones looking for another tough 2 inside. This time comes up short.
And that one would have been a little bit harder against Shantae Taylor, who's a bigger post player down low.
Yeah, Jones 5'9", giving up quite a few inches against the 6'3" Taylor. Perea with a deep three, no good. Jones grabs the rebound. Temple still 0 for from three-point range. They're now 0 for 9. Urson, skip pass over to Anderson. And Anderson will back it out, reset up top. Urson with the shot clock down under 5. Gets to the rim, can't finish. Grant the putback, no. And Temple comes away unscathed.
With being able to get a stop, or the past 2 stops that Temple's made, they need to make sure that they can score on offense.
Well, Davis nearly did, got a bad bounce, but cleans up her own miss in the putback. 360 and out. Taylor shooting as she fell to the ground, no. And Tulane comes away with it.
The right idea, those shots by Mia Davis would have, or something that we've seen go in time after time.
And Grant misses another at close range, so both teams with a tough time finishing in the last 30 seconds. Now Perea travels. A little bit sloppy.
Yeah, and again, it's a little bit too fast for Temple. They want to play fast, but there's a way to do it in a controlled way, and I think Emani Mayo, right idea to try to get it to your shooter, but she wasn't exactly set to make that shot.
That is the 6th turnover this quarter for Temple. 2:32 to go. Kayla Anderson back up into the forecourt as Heidi comes back out on the floor for Tulane. Parral up top to Urson, steps out for a 3, no, and Perea will let it go out of bounds. Urson is a very good three-point shooter, 40% for the season, and had time to square that one up, just couldn't knock it down.
We'll see as we're approaching the second half. We'll see if Tulane can kind of clean up their three-point percentage and knock a little bit more of that down. But they've done a great job with the number of points in the paint and being able to score that way to keep them in the lead.
Yeah, both of these teams have really had a tough time outside, so they're going inside, and Mia Davis becomes the first player to double figures. She's got 10 in the first half. Temple within 6.
And although Mia Davis has 2 fouls, I think they can't really afford to have her out for so long because she's able to score really well, just like Jones is able to score really well on the other end.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. You saw what happened in that brief moment that Davis and Gordine were both off the floor. Tulane goes on a 10-0 run, forces Temple into a timeout, and so Tanya Cardoza has gambled, keeping them both out there with 2 fouls, and to their credit, they have both avoided, to this point, picking up a third. Open 3 for Jones, couldn't get there, and then a big collision between Dinah Jones and Anaya Gordine, both going for that long, loose ball. That was a tough collision, and Jones is slow to get up.
Yeah, they both were kind of almost running full speed from different directions, trying to get after that ball, but great hustle by both of them, trying to get that rebound. I think Gordine seen that she could have had that fast break layup, and she wanted to just take off.
Yeah. Jones really got there a half step sooner, was actually looked like trying to bat the ball out to a teammate, keep it away from Gordine, and then just got run over. Inside, a nice touch for Tierra East. Her first 2 points. Temple hanging around, down by 6. We've entered the final minute of half number 1.
And great job by East, another player for Temple that has done really well. I think she's really strong at driving to the basket like she just did.
Foul called here on East, reaching in on Urson. It's Temple's 4th foul of the quarter, so 46.5 seconds left. Shot clock resets to 20. And Tulane will have the inbound as Temple will get in Jalen Holmes. Parral, step back 3, well off. East grabs the rebound.
I think the 3 points or lack of 3 points made by Tulane is kind of saving Temple and allowing them to stay so close in this game with Tulane.
I think you're absolutely right, and the Owls have got to find an answer if Tulane can start to put that part of their game together. Hasn't been there for Temple either, 0 for 9, though Temple not known as a good three-point shooting team. Williamson inside for 2, and the Owls, after trailing by as many as 8, have now cut it to 4 in the closing seconds of the half. Urson, can she get a shot off? Perral swings it around. Someone's got to take the shot. Perral at the buzzer, banks it home. How about that? Irina Perral, just her 6th three-pointer of the season, and an exclamation point on the half for Tulane. Weeks against UCF and South Florida, the two teams at the top of the American Athletic Conference.
I think it's definitely capable for Tulane to, finish the season with the championship. By the way that they're playing, I think team defense just really seems to be undefeated, as well as the team offense that they play.
All right, Tulane with the ball first to start the second half. The Green Wave are in green on the road, moving right to left. Temple in all white, cherry trim, moving left to right. And the Owls force a turnover off the opening whistle, and now Temple with their first offensive possession to second half. Davis for 3, it's good. Mia Davis with just her 7th three-pointer of the season, and she brings Temple back within 4.
I like when she kind of shows us the multiple different things she can do offensively, whether it's back to the basket, going down lower, stepping out and shooting and knocking down those three-pointers.
Yeah, and she's been an effective three-point shooter throughout her career. Not as good this year. That average has dwindled a bit. In fact, just a 15% three-point shooter, but shows you her range there. She's got 13. Gordine grabs a rebound, and Temple chance to cut further into the Tulane lead here early in the third quarter. And Mia Davis doing it again, this time inside. Gordine setting Davis up, and it's a 2-point game just like that. With Temple on a 5-0 burst out of the gate.
All just being able to kind of limit just what Tulane is doing defensively. If they can stop them defensively, then Temple can come back into this.
Clark can't convert inside. Williamson grabs the rebound, and here you go. Temple with a chance to tie or take the lead on this possession. East mid-range jumper is good. Temple 7-0 out of the gate. 34-34, tie game.
Yeah, I really like the way that Temple's playing. I think, this is something that they kind of lack consistency with throughout their season. Sometimes they'll play really well together, and sometimes it seems like it's their first time playing together.
Tulane on their heels for the first time in a long time. They turn to Dinah Jones. Misses, but the putback, right place, right time, Mia Heidi. Heidi with 4 points. Tulane goes back up by 2.
Another missed outside shot by Temple, just still can't quite get it, and they've never really been a three-point shooting team. And I think they really recruit the players that can drive, put the ball on the floor versus the shooters.
Now only 24% for the season. And a putback good for Heidi. She's got 2 baskets on the last 2 trips and has staked Tulane back to a 4-point lead.
And again, that's what makes Tulane such a threat, is there's not that one person that's scoring every time, and when they do, or if they can't make a shot, then there's someone else that's going to step up.
A kick ball here. We'll stay on this side with Temple. Deep 3 by Gordine. She's got one. Temple with 2 3-pointers this quarter. 1-point game once again.
Yeah, I really like, Emani Gordine and Mia Davis just kind of taking charge for their team offensively. And, even with their foul trouble, they've been smart and know what their value is on this team.
Tulane trying to answer with a 3 from Heidi. No good. Temple can take the lead here. East, no good, but she's fouled and will go to the line for 2 free throws.
Tiara East has played a solid game for Temple so far. 4 points, but I think she's doing a lot more than what shows on the stat sheets.
Tiara East, very good free throw shooter, and before she shoots, we will remind you, coming up at 6 Eastern over on ESPN, 7th ranked Duke squares off against Syracuse up at the Carrier Dome, and then a big one tonight, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, number 10 Baylor hosts number 5 Kansas.
Well, Syracuse, my neck of the woods up north.
That's right. That's right. How's the snow doing right there?
Oh man, my mom sent me a picture and there's snow everywhere. I can't do it. It's not for me.
That's why you had to come a little bit further south.
Yes.
East misses the first, knocks down the second. Tie game at 38. And Tulane off the mark on an entry pass, looking for Anijah Grant inside. So the Owls will get it back.
Tulane hasn't had a horrible start to the second half, but it definitely feels a little bit different than the team they started out with in the first and second quarter.
Yeah, Temple 11-4 here in the third quarter. They have not led since 7.5 minutes remaining in the second, and that'll change. Mia Davis with the long two, but she's showing her range this half, and Temple goes on top.
I like the way that, Mia Davis is kind of leaving everything out on the floor. The last time at home against UCF, she only had 1 point, and that's probably the lowest I've ever seen her have, so it's nice to see her kind of clean that game up and make it better this game.
Missed assignment on the other end, and a good find. Anijah Grant all by herself down low, ties the game at 40. A little half-court trap there from Tulane. Temple will pass through it, set things up in the half court. Davis looking down low to Williamson, just couldn't handle the pass. Temple turns it over.
I think it's the right idea, but I don't know if it was the best angle for Mia to pass to Alexa with her kind of turn towards the sideline.
Freeman can't save the pass, and we've seen that a lot of times where teams will just trade the turnover one for another, and that's why it really hasn't made much of a difference. Temple's 10 against Tulane's 9. A lot of them have come back to back.
Yeah, I think with Tulane not being able to have offensive possessions that were successful, that has allowed Temple to kind of come back and tie this game.
Inside, Davis, another tough take. What a quarter for Mia Davis. She's got 9 points already in the third, and she has staked Temple to a 42-40 lead.
Yeah, right now, Tulane's not really doing anything to stop her from doing what she wants to do offensively.
Now a good answer inside. Both teams having their way in the post. Anijah Grant ties the game at 42. And Temple again can't connect with Alexa Williamson inside. Well, that will bring us to a break. 4:38 to go. Mia Davis taking over for Temple in the third quarter. She's got 9.
It's been as good as in the first half.
And it has opened the door for Mia Davis inside as well. She now has 19 points, 9 in this third quarter alone. Let's see if Tulane can get their legs back underneath them here out of the break. Freeman. Heidi, who's been hot this quarter, can't connect on the jumper. Offensive rebound, Cheatham. Fresh 20 on the shot clock for Tulane. And now Cheatham gets a look from 3, no good. Heidi, another offensive rebound. Third crack at the possession for Tulane. Jones passes up the 3 to get to the rim. What an effort by Dinah Jones.
And that's great just to be so aware of where the defense is. I think she held her composure to get to the basket the way that she did.
Held ball on the ground, and the arrow is with Temple, so it will stay on this end of the floor. Davis gets the pass off to East, and now Gourdine will back it out. 10 on the shot clock. Mayo trying to get it into East, tipped by Tulane. It'll stay here with Temple, though only 6 on the shot clock for the Owls. Inside to Davis, fighting her way in, can't come up with it, and then another held ball with the arrow pointing back toward Tulane.
Yeah, after that last break, it's interesting to see if Temple's able to kind of continue what they did in the first half of the third quarter and just kind of dominate offensively. Sometimes when they come out of the break, they change and become a completely different team and kind of fall behind.
Freeman coming around the left side, pulls up, mid-range jumper, good touch by Crystal Freeman. Freeman with 6 in Tulane. Trying to steady the ship. They've scored 6 in a row.
Well, they're very disciplined, on offense. So you can tell the way that they play, that they practice what they're doing in practice often, and they're kind of held accountable for their makes and misses.
Yeah, shooting 45% for the game. About even between both teams. Helped out. The Owls shooting percentage helped out by this hot start to the third quarter, and it'll continue. Emani Mayo with another long 2. Mayo with 6. And it is a 2-point game. Heidi trying to spin back against Williamson. Nice move down low. And Heidi with 8 points, 6 here in this quarter.
You know, that footwork is pretty hard to teach for a player like herself, just to stay with it and not travel and then still make the basket at the end.
How about that answer for Mia Davis? She's into double figures this quarter. Now 21 points for the game. But Tulane just has the answer every time, and that'll force Tanya Cardoza into a timeout. Mia Heidi taking over down low. She's got 10 points in the ball game, 8 this quarter, and 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds in her career. You can kind of go on with the accolades, and so getting a chance to play here for likely the last time, barring a postseason game hosted here at Temple. It's been fun to watch her in this third quarter put up 11 points and try to lead Temple back against Tulane.
It's funny you say a lot of emotion. That's one thing that we haven't really seen from Mia Davis herself, of, emotion and kind of, just that eccentric type of player. But, she does a good job with or without it.
Yeah, very stoic. And, I'm just projecting that that's going on beneath the surface. You really can't tell watching her. That is certainly true. Here we go. Tulane out of the break, driving and finishing. Dinah Jones. They just have such good slashing guards. And, we saw it from Ursula Clark, who we haven't seen in the third quarter. She took over in the first, and Dinah Jones, after a 25-point performance last time out against SMU, has 15 today.
Yeah, and Jones, the way that she drives to the basket, her strides are long, so it's very short time frame for her to get to the basket.
East off the mark on a little runner in the lane. Rebound to Freeman. Final minute now of the third quarter. Tulane has opened their lead back to 6. Three-pointer on the way, no, and the rebound tipped out. Last touch by Tulane. It's going to go back to Temple.
If Temple wants to win this, I think it's really going to be a game that's won on the defensive end. They're doing really well offensively, but they need to make sure that they're going to stop Tulane. Not every possession, that's almost impossible, but every other possession, and just really put a focus and emphasis on their defense.
And you make a great point, because Temple is shooting 67% from the field for the quarter. They're 50% from 3, and yet they've only made up 1 point because Tulane is shooting 50% from the field themselves. Well, a missed 3, but good opportunity for a putback that also misses for Temple. Here comes Tulane right back into the forecourt, about 30 seconds to go. Anderson, good idea, just short hop the pass to Urson. Now Urson open for 3. Oh, that did everything but drop. No good. Rebound to Tierra East. Shot clock turned off. Under 10 seconds to go. Gordine out to Davis. Wants another short. Battle for the loose ball. Tulane picks it up. Won't get the shot off. Tulane pulls it back out late as Temple brief to total wins in her career, 559 at Tulane, and she's got a great team this year. We said this 8-game winning streak is the longest for the Green Wave in over a decade. 2010-2011 season, the last time Tulane had this kind of win streak, and they will begin the fourth quarter with a big block inside. And a three on the way, it's good! Kayla Anderson with her first points of the afternoon. And how about that start to the fourth quarter for Tulane?
Yeah, great sequence, and I really want to say it just started on the defensive end, getting that stop and then kind of capitalizing on the 5-against-4 situation.
How about Mia Heidi in this second half? She had 8 points in the third quarter, then starts with the block, sets up that three-pointer. Good answer for Temple as Coranda Perea has her first points of the game. And it is now a 7-point contest, 55-48.
Yeah, Heidi was the one for her team in the third quarter to kind of keep them into this game with 50% from the field. Just did an amazing job.
How about that? Count the basket and the foul. Three-pointer good by Sierra Cheatham, and now she's going to go to the line. Or excuse me, the basket is good, and the foul is
away
after
from
the
ball.
basket. And now we'll extend the possession for Tulane. Chance to get 5 or 6 points on this possession. And it'll be a blocking foul here. This foul is on Tierra East and is going to be 2 shots. Interestingly, Nikki, these will be the first 2 free throws of the day for Tulane. They've been doing all this without getting to the free throw line, which is interesting as much as they've gone inside.
Yeah, and also Temple sometimes is so foul trouble prone, so it's interesting to see that it's been pretty clean on that end for them, not giving people easy baskets and then also an and-one situation.
Tulane, a very good free throw shooting team, and Moon Urson, who has been pretty quiet today. She's actually the team's leading scorer on the season, averaging 14 per game. Those 2 free throws give her 3 and 4 for the day, but Tulane has stretched their lead to its largest point all afternoon, 60-48. And it is crunch time now for Temple here at home for the final time this season.
I think that says a lot about Tulane with Urson being their leading scorer and really not, having too many points on offense. Her team's kind of been carrying the team. Just, again, that team basketball really shows for them.
Yeah, Jones with 15. Heidi has stepped up with 10 after she had a 0-point performance against SMU. Had a frustrating day. She started, played 14 minutes, didn't score, didn't register a rebound. She has really been terrific today against Temple. Tulane on the inbound. Early minutes of the fourth quarter. Green Wave up by 12, their largest lead today. Clark, turnaround, gets the soft bounce. Her first points in the second half, but she's now into double figures, becomes the 3rd Green Wave scorer with 10 or more.
And they have a lot of guards that will go down and become post players, play that back to the basket, and then also score offensively.
Bourdin in the post for Williamson. Williamson against Heidi, another block inside. It's going to stay here with Temple. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Inbound to Davis. Draws contact and will go to the line.
Well, you can't give Mia Davis any space, no matter where she is on the court. I don't know how she does it, but she's always able to just kind of grab those balls.
A reminder, folks, coming up at 6 Eastern over on ESPN, 7th-ranked Duke squares off against Syracuse at the Carrier Dome. And at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, big matchup. 2 top 10 teams. Number 10 Baylor hosts number 5 Kansas. Davis, meanwhile, hits the first free throw, gives her 22 on the day, creeping up on her season high, which is 26 points. Now make it 23 for Davis. The deficit for Temple is 12, and the Owls are going to press off the made free throw. And we've got a held ball. The arrow is with Tulane. Temple changing things up, going to that full court pressure, and at least momentarily Nikki has thrown off Tulane.
Yeah, and again, I think really them winning this game starts on the defensive end, and I'm sure Coach Cardoza knows that. She's been doing this for years, so it's part of the reason why she kind of pushed them up to press and throw off Tulane and kind of slow down what they want to do on offense.
Well, Tanya Cardoza over on the Temple bench having an extra word with the official, and now the officials have gone to the scorebook, and I'm wondering if this has to do with the possession arrow. Temple seems to think that the arrow should be in their favor. And after a brief stoppage, then nothing changes. It is still with Tulane here, so Green Wave with the inbound off of the held ball. Temple will continue to press. And the possession arrow now back to Temple on the alternating possession. Clark flying to the hoop. Can't finish. Loose ball rebound tipped out to Emani Mayo. Mayo brings it up in a hurry and now has to slow things down.
Well, so far this press that Temple's put on has did what they want to do and kind of turned Tulane over and slowed them down.
7.5 minutes to go in regulation as the Owls try to mount a comeback. Gordine is blocked, gets it back. Second chance, no good. It's going to stay here as Heidi couldn't reel in the rebound for Tulane. Only 4 on the shot clock for Temple. East, shot clock winding down, no, and it's a shot clock violation for Temple with a couple of pretty wild misses on that possession. Now, the other thing, Nikki, you talked about winning it on defense, but Temple has not shot the ball nearly as well in this fourth quarter as they did in the third. They were better than 50% from the field in the third quarter. They're just 1 of 6 here in the fourth, and Tulane misses at close range with Clark.
Yeah, the fourth quarter for Temple really hasn't been their best, and they've only scored, these 4 points, and that makes such a big difference considering the past 3 quarters has been pretty balanced for the most part.
Temple trying to avoid a 3-game losing streak here. They have dropped back-to-back games to UCF and Houston. They will finish the season with a somewhat odd 2-game series at SMU. They're going to play 2 games back-to-back in Dallas. There was supposed to be a game played between those 2 teams earlier this year here at McGonigal Hall. It was canceled due to postponed due to COVID issues within Temple's program. So they're going to go play 2 in a row in Dallas and then just stay down there for the conference tournament, which is in neighboring Fort Worth.
Similar to how they ended their season last year, they played their last 2 regular season games against Memphis because of that same type of postponement.
Mayo off on the elbow jumper. The putback is good. 10-point game, 62-52 with 6 to go. Nikki, we were having this debate earlier since the conference tournament is going to be down in Fort Worth, and Temple's going to have a lot of time down there between the 2 games at SMU and then what they hope is a long stay in Fort Worth. So when you're in Texas, Tex-Mex or barbecue? What is the move?
Oh, that's tough. Well, the thing is, they'll be there for a while, so they can get both.
That is the right answer. You got the right answer. Yes, why choose? Why choose?
And they were also just down there playing against Houston, too,
so
really they have a lot of time in Texas.
Yeah, they are packing it all in, though. This is a fine time of year to be in Texas. Late February, early March, nice and warm.
Yeah, not too hot. It normally gets really humid down there.
This is the time. Those are 2 really big games. Temple and SMU right now 4th and 5th in the conference. Actually, Nikki, there's a very, very high likelihood they could end up playing 3 games in a row against each other. Might end up being a 3-game series. It's hard to picture a scenario right now if you look at where the bracket stands and the possible scenarios that doesn't have Temple and SMU finishing in 4th and 5th in some fashion. So very likely those teams are going to be sick of each other by the time they see each other for the 3rd time in a row.
I guess it'll be similar to like a professional playoff game.
Yeah, that's right. You're getting like a best-of-3 series. Foul on Anaya Gordine reaching in here in the front court with 5:19 to go. Temple has chipped away as Tulane has gone cold offensively. Green Wave held scoreless for the last 3+ minutes of game action, and they've kept a door open just enough for Temple here in the fourth quarter.
Now with just about 5 minutes left, this is a time that Temple really needs to just kind of go all out, make something happen offensively, defensively, get some more stops, because it's now or never for them.
Well, they've got the stop, now trying to put it together on offense. Gourdine for three, too strong. Rebound Urson, and she's going to slow it down just a bit here as the clock ticks under 5, and Tulane still on top by double digits. Jones wants to drive, got herself a little lost underneath the basket. Kick out stolen away. East down the floor, lays it in too strong. The putback by Mayo. She is fouled by Freeman, and Emani Mayo will have 2 free throws at the line. Tulane, as we've come to the final stoppage, leading by double figures. Arsula Clark with 10. That's the margin for the Green Wave. With Emani Mayo at the line shooting 2. First one for Mayo is good. 9 points ties a season high for Emani Mayo, so not to be overlooked in the terrific senior day performances today for Temple, another of their 5th-year graduates. Mayo now has a new season high at 10.
Yeah, normally it seems like when Emani Mayo does well, that's when Temple does well. She kind of plays that role of just keeping that energy up for Temple.
Good look from Anderson down low to Urson. That is the 9th assist of the day for Anderson. What a day she has had running this Tulane offense.
Yeah, and you mentioned, I think in the third quarter was her first time scoring, but she's really just been racking up those assists, maybe not really focusing on scoring because she hasn't really have to.
She is one shy of her career high, which is 10 assists. That was set against Middle Tennessee State. All right, held ball, and the arrow will keep it here with Temple. 14 on the shot clock. Al's down by 10, and Nikki, that clock really starting to play a bigger factor now as it gets down under 4 minutes.
Hey, you start to see teams kind of play a little bit different when, you're down and you're trying to figure out how to, get as many points as you can to try to win the game. With under 4 minutes, it just feels like chaos.
Yeah, and overall in the game, obviously this three-point shooting is the quickest way back for Temple, but they're 2 for 18 shooting threes today. Emani Mayo lets one fly and won't get the friendly bounce off the back iron. And Mayo then too aggressive trying to get it back, called for the foul here, and that is going to put Temple over the limit. And we're going to walk it to the other end of the court for Tulane to shoot free throws. Two free throws coming for Dinah Jones. Have a moment, we'll remind you that the American Athletic Conference Women's Basketball Championship begins March 7th, as we mentioned, down at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas. Second year as the host site of the American Athletic Conference Tournament. South Florida, the defending champions, in an intra-state battle over UCF in 2021. Nikki may well see those two teams back in it this year, but this Tulane team right now, I don't know. They seem to have the right balance. They're peaking at the right time. I think that they're going to find a way in out of that other side.
And that'll be very interesting, too. It's that time of the year when you never know what's going to happen, what the outcome will be of, each game as we approach March and the postseason tournaments.
I think you could say with the top three this year, UCF, South Florida, and Tulane, this conference is as wide open as it's been in a long time. And then, of course, you've got SMU vastly improved from a season ago. Temple sitting right there in fifth. I think there's a lot of teams that are going to go down to Fort Worth believing that they've got a chance to get it done.
Which makes it more exciting as well.
Yeah. Temple down 11. Perea launching a three, no good.
I think Coranda Perea shows promise for her team in the future as far as being that three-point shooter, but just a little bit of work needs to happen, and I think she'll have a lot of time to make it happen for the next few seasons.
Yeah, tough day today, though. 0 for 7 from 3. 2:45 to go in the game. Tulane content to let that clock wind down, though they've got to get a shot off now. 3 on the shot clock. Urson just puts one up. Side of the backboard, so a shot clock violation, and Temple will get it back. They're not the worst outcome for Tulane to tick a full 30 seconds off the game clock.
Yeah, and, just they don't want to, have the ball in Temple's hands. So if it's in their hands for 30 seconds, then I'm sure that's something their coach will settle for.
Temple has really gone cold at the worst possible time. They have missed 13 of their last 14 shots. Davis, elbow jumper, no, and the cold streak continues for Temple. They've gone 3.5 minutes without a field goal. And obviously that is not the recipe for an Owls comeback here on their home floor. Tulane with the ball leading by 11 as the game clock ticks under 2 minutes.
And that's tough for Temple. It's just, consistently been trying to figure out how to put all 4 quarters together. And we've seen them do it. We've seen them do it in spurts, but it really needs to happen late in the season.
What a great find. Anderson gets her 10th assist of the game. Heidi inside with 12. It's a 67-54 Tulane lead. And with that stop, that may well have been the last gasp for a potential Temple comeback. Nobody picks up Jones, and then Gourdine with a hard foul late sends Jones to the line for 2.
That's a right idea. You don't want to aggressively hurt someone on the free throw, on the foul, but don't let them make it at this point in the game.
Now, coming up tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, right next door to us here at McGonigal Hall at the Leah Center, Temple men's basketball will host Tulane. Same 2 teams, just right next door at 3 p.m. Eastern, and that will be carried live by our friends at ESPNU. Well, we talked about the bracket potential, Nikki, as we wind down here with just a few games left in the regular season. Those top 5 seeds are all going to go down there and have a very good chance. And then you never know, someone coming out of that first round trying to get hot and win 4 games in 4 days.
Well, certainly not going to be easy, but I think it'll be a great tournament to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dinah Jones is going to be one of the players that, if Tulane is going to win a conference title, she's going to be a big part of making it happen. She had 25 against SMU. She's got 18 today. Here she fouls Mia Davis and sends Davis to the line. I think we may be seeing Dinah Jones in the American Weekly Honors when they come out in a few days.
Yeah, 25 last game and another 18 today. I think she really was kind of the main player to kind of get things started for her team, and just been consistent throughout.
Davis putting together a heck of a game here, 24-11. In what is, in all likelihood, her last time playing here on this McGonigal Hall court. Second free throw drops as well. Davis with 25. The deficit for Temple is 13, minute 22 left. And Tulane will get it back up into the forecourt. Jones will back it out toward the quarter. Temple's not going to foul. Shot clock down under 8. Kick out to Anderson. No good from 3. And Freeman had a chance at the offensive rebound. Just couldn't grab it. And it will go back to Temple in the final minute of this game.
Certainly very solid game by Tulane. I think they did a great job of starting out strong and finishing strong, as I said, in the keys of the game. And, just really playing that team defense that's been instilled in them throughout the season or the past 20 seasons with their coach.
Kick out to Gourdine. Can't convert on the 3. A foul against Tulane underneath. Check that offensive foul on Temple, so Tulane will have it back. Gourdine pokes the ball away from Jones. formality at this point. 7.8 second differential between shot and game clock. And Shantae Taylor will get an opportunity to come back in for Temple here on senior day as Williamson comes off. Shot clock winding down. Urson tripped up by Gourdine with 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Temple over the limit. And it's going to bring up 2 free throws for Tulane here in the final 10 seconds. And Temple is going to bring off Gourdine as well as, or bring off their 3 seniors. And a nice ovation here for Davis from this home crowd. One last chance to cheer on Temple's all-time leading scorer.
Well, it certainly has been a very exciting 5 years watching Mia Davis play here at Temple, and just seeing all the things that she's capable of and just watching her grow as a player with this program.
Yeah, we've said it, it is just a matter of when, not if, that her name is going to be hanging in the rafters here. All-time leading scorer, and there have only been 2 numbers retired all-time in the history of this program. She'll be the 3rd, but it's not enough on this day. Tulane extends their longest win streak in over a decade by getting a 71-56 win. The Green Wave have now